Quite a few people ask me about setting up businesses and what they should do and how it would work. People have great ideas, but a lot of the times they get fixated with the idea itself rather than the person who's going to buy your idea. It's very important to understand your target market. A lot of the times people have these great visions and they're so passionate about the product or the thing that they have produced or the idea that they're working on that they forget the buyer. And it's something very, very key in all businesses that you set up. Who is your target audience? Who is going to buy this? There are a number of people who have this misconception that if you can find a product or a service to sell to the rich, you are going to become successful and wealthy yourself very quickly. First thing I would like to raise is rich people become rich because they're not stupid. So selling something to someone who's rich and successful and has already made it in this world is much harder than selling it to some fool who doesn't know what they want. The other thing that people always ask me is about their products being very niche and very specific and they want to create high-end. Again, going back to the point, if you want to create something that's high-end and it's really amazing, you want to sell it at a very high price, you need to know why a rich person with all that money and access to big brands would come and buy your product when you're someone who's just starting up. So all those things are very key. You need to sit down and think about why would anyone buy your product, and have a chat with your friends and family and people who are not so passionate about it, because when you're very passionate about things, you end up creating reasons why people should buy your product. And creating reasons in your head is not the same as reality. So to start off with, figure out who's going to buy your product or service. Second thing is figure out who your competition is in the marketplace. And again, don't get worried about the competition so much, because everyone has some sort of a competition. If someone's already doing something that you are doing and you're doing it differently and better, and you have the right understanding of attracting your customers and the target audience to get your product known, you will succeed over the other person. Also, your differentiating point is very important. So the unique selling point, that is called USP. It's very important to know why would someone buy your product as opposed to the next guy who's doing the same thing. I don't want to go into specific details because that may give away the people that have come to me for advice, and I don't want them to feel embarrassed if they watch this video. But I've had examples of where people have come up and said, I saw so and so, someone very rich and famous, and on TV, and they are interested in buying these things and this is what they have. And I'm going to produce something that these people would buy. There's so many people who think that because person X with, I don't know, a net worth of 1 million or a net worth of 10 million is going and buying something from a brand like Hermes or Ralph Lauren or Louis Vuitton or, I don't know, Prada, then they would buy my product as well because they have the buying power. You don't have the same marketing machine behind you. You don't have the same technology, the media, the name of the brand being around for many, many years. So when you pay over the odds for a product made by Louis Vuitton or Prada or, I don't know, Hermes or Dior, one of the big brands, I mean, I'm just naming them randomly because these are the ones popping up in my head, is because they have spent years and years perfecting their products, building their brand, Now you may end up finding a product that is better quality but doesn't have the same label and is far cheaper. The trouble is, people's psychology works in a way that we tend to gravitate towards certain brands, and we think because it is made by Burberry, this trench coat has to be good. There's another brand called Aquascutum that does equally good trench coats for half the price pretty much. They don't sell as many because people go for the brand. So if your brand is not well known, you cannot set a price point that is aimed at the rich and famous, because they're not going to buy your product unless you give it to one of their peers or people from that group for free, who then wear it and the word gets around and people think, wow, this is an amazing thing, we should buy. So what I'm trying to say is create the right price point for your product, otherwise people are not going to buy it. I don't know if I can sell this cat. He comes in every video and annoys me. So maybe I should just put him as an Hermes or a Prada cat and sell him. I've had him for 16, 17 years. He's my baby, but he's very spoiled. Right. Now, talking about something that I've raised in one of my previous videos, where I was saying if you are against the rich, what should you do to defeat the rich? And I made a point about people's buying power. And many of the new comers to the marketplace, people who are creators and inventors and selling products and services, they instantly look at the super rich and think, this is where I'm going to go and sell my product and make money. No, in my opinion, it's the wrong approach. Unless you have something so unique and so amazing, and you have a couple of celebrities or some important people that can wear or use your product or service, and as a result it's going to go viral. Otherwise, you're just going to spend a lot of money creating something that is overpriced and your product's going to fail. What you should do is aim something at the masses, because as I said before, the masses are stupid and they go out and spend money on things that are worthless and useless. So if you take off with the masses, you will make a lot of money quickly. Once you've made that money, you can then invest that money into a niche, better, different, high-end product. So you have some capital that you have earned through your hard work, through a business, rather than putting your own money into something and risking the failure. So let me explain this a little more. To put things into perspective and to create a clearer understanding of what I'm saying, let's use $100 as an example and 100 people. Let's assume that 97% of those people are willing to spend $1 on something, and 3% of that population is willing to spend $10 for that same item. So 3%, the rich, have 10 times more buying power than the rest of the population. Of course, the 97% has a different level of buying power, but we're just going to normalize them at $1 discussion. So if you have a product that sells for $1 and you sell it to 97 people, you've just had a revenue of $97. You sell the same thing for $10 each to the rich, your revenue is $30. So by selling it to the masses, you can make more money. An example of this is Aldi and Lidl. Two of these German supermarkets. They're not very super, but they're just market chains. The owners of those, I think, are two brothers who are one of the richest people in Germany. They have expanded into the UK for a while, and I think now they've recently bought shares in Marks and Spencer. So what I'm trying to explain is that shops like Waitrose, which is the top-end, high-end supermarket in the UK, is constantly struggling because its products are aimed at the rich, whereas Aldi and Lidl is aimed at the normal, average, everyday people with low income. They are more likely to go and buy things that are not necessary and waste their money. Also, what you do is you reduce your profit margin and sell way too many. That way you make more money. So the term used in the marketplace is pile them high, sell them cheap. So have lots of them, sell them cheap. You're going to sell more products and make more money. If you have smaller amounts with a big profit margin, you're less likely to sell because people will buy cheap stuff. I mean, if you look at our own behaviors and the way we act on our phones, for example, if you look at the app stores, if you see something that costs 99 cents, you are likely to buy it. If it doesn't work, you've lost $1, just delete it. But if you had to pay $8 or $9 or $10 for a product, you're more likely to pay attention to and do some research and see what it is. Even though, if you think about it, you might go out and buy fast food or something for $10 and it may be absolutely awful and you throw it in the bin and you won't think about it. But you wouldn't do that with an app. So this is just putting things into perspective of how you should aim to create your business and the products you sell, because otherwise you can have the best product on the planet. If the marketing isn't right, if people don't know about it, people are not sold into it, the idea and why they should buy it, it's going to be a flop. So save yourself the hassle and the disappointment. Think about all these factors that I've explained and then create your business model based on how you're going to go from start to finish and what is your journey, what kind of clients you want to have, how much money you want to make, and always branch out, diversify your business. Don't always think that, okay, let's say I'm making a leather wallet, it has to be the best wallet on the planet. Yes, it could be the best wallet on the planet, but if you sell 5 of those, what's the point? Might as well create the 3rd best or the 10th best wallet on the planet, but it's good enough that it will attract lots of people. Sell it. Once your brand is established, you have enough money that you can decide, okay, this is not my personal money, this is the money I've earned through my business, I'll reinvest it. Anyway, I hope this was of some use. Many of you asked me to make the videos like this, so I thought I should touch upon this particular one because I got quite a few emails about setting up businesses and how to find the right product and what to do with it, etc, etc. Apologies if my videos come across unstructured. It's because I don't write scripts. I have the idea that I want to talk about and I just sit in front of the camera and talk. I've tried writing down bullet points. I'm not very good at it because I read the bullet points and then once I've talked about that one thing, my brain just goes blank and then I start on. It just feels very fragmented and I don't think I can pass on my knowledge and my expertise properly if I'm just reading bullet points. I'm always the kind of person who just stands in front of people and talks, and it just works for me. So thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe and send me your requests for more videos and I will make them. Ciao!